Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon or good morning, I should say. It's 11:30, and welcome to another episode of the Heaven Saving Podcast here on the SoFlo Soccer Channel. My name is Matt, your host, as always, and today we have a lot to talk about. Of course, for Inter Miami related news, we have Club World Cup to talk about. We have Messi winning MVP. We have contract decisions to discuss, transfer rumors, and so much more. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you watch the whole thing if you're tuning in after the live stream. Before we get into the live stream or before we get into all the information that we have to talk about, let's discuss first, or let's do some house cleaning, I should say. Let's do some house cleaning. Um, I haven't live streamed in, I think, like in a week and a half, and I think this is honestly the first morning that I have free to myself. Yesterday, I spent the whole day just kind of organizing my room. As you can tell, this is like a new perspective, a new angle, a new setup. All of this is going to be different, hopefully soon, in the coming days, in the coming weeks. It's all going to be different. I'm designing my entire room to better the streams for you guys. And right now, like I have my camera in front of the one monitor that I have set up, so it's like everything is in the way, but it's fine. It's all gonna be sorted out in the next couple of weeks, hopefully by the new year for the new season. Um, Also, another thing, I'm not going to be here. I know, like I'm not here a lot already, but I'm not going to be here from tomorrow, Wednesday, until about Sunday. I am going on a business trip for my job. So we're going to the NCAA Division Two National Tournament from Wednesday to Sunday. I'm not going to be here, so I won't be providing any content within those days. Just only maybe posts that I'll put on the community tab to kind of just keep you guys updated. But other than that, I won't be able to go live unless I like go live like through my phone or something. And like something really big happens. But hopefully nothing big should be happening between Wednesday tomorrow and Sunday, and hopefully everything can just kind of just stay intact until I return. But I appreciate you guys' patience. I appreciate everybody's understanding and their support, regardless of me being extremely busy with work these last couple of weeks. Or honestly, this last like month or two, because we have NCAA tournaments going on, and we have a lot of just it's just been extremely busy at my job. I literally worked 64 hours this last week, and I'm probably gonna work another like 60 this week. So it's been crazy. But anyways, that's the house cleaning done. Let's get into the agenda. Like I said, I literally just have the one screen behind this camera, so please be patient with me when it comes to just shifting and moving things over. But first up, I'll have the chat pulled up on my phone, so I'll be able to read your guys' chat. But let's go over first contract decisions. I think that's the biggest talking point as of right now. We're gonna get into Club World Cup and transfer rumors later on. Um, but let's discuss first contract decisions made by Inter Miami. I think this is something that's very important that we need to discuss, because this is something that we've been waiting for quite a while. I want to say like for at least a month we've been waiting for this news, and now we got word. We got word, I believe, yesterday. So let me try to actually switch freaking. There we go. There we go. I'm actually trying to switch. Okay, now my mouse is frozen. Now I can't even see it. Um, Can I move up like that? I can. So my mouse is frozen. But anyways, Inter Miami Communications Department, Inter Miami CF announced yesterday, that the roster decisions following the conclusion of the 2024 MLS regular season campaign, the players with guaranteed contracts. So we have players who are guaranteed, already contracted for 2025. We have players who had the option to extend to 2025 and accepted it. We have contract options that were declined, and then we have we have one loan that was expired. That was Nico Freire. You guys can see me well, right? Yeah, perfect. Um, so that is the only. Let's just do that first because it's only one guy. Nico Freire. We're not gonna have him anymore. He has left the club. Yeah, he has left the club under a contract. Or after completing his loan move from Argentina. Here, let me see if I. Okay, I had that post up somewhere. Here, I had it up here. Sorry, guys. I had it up here. It's really hard doing this with one monitor. I don't know how people do it. It's really really hard doing this with one monitor. Um, but yeah, Nico Freire is done. He's gone. His loan is expired. Inter Miami are not planning on renewing that contract, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense given the fact that of his injury. I mean, like what he tore his ACL or something, and he was pretty much gone for I think what half of the season. And he's probably not gonna really fully recover to the point where he'll be as good of a center back that I thought he was when we first got him. I thought he was a pretty good center back. He was a reliable center back in my opinion, and yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to keep him, and because of his injury and things like that. So that's number one. His loan is expired. Thank you for your service, Nico Freire. Hopefully, we hope for the best for him in the future. Let's get into the players that have guaranteed their contracts or who are automatically staying with us because it was already in their initial contract for 2025. So we have players like Noah Allen. We have El Toto Aviles. He's going to be staying with us for next year. Boatwright, the academy player, he's going to be staying with us. Busi is staying. Drake Calendar is staying. Campana ended up staying because he's already contracted. We have Cremachi staying. Facundo Farias staying. Diego Gomez has a guaranteed contract for 2025. Now, we'll get to that in a minute. We have Julian Grasso, we have Tyler Hall, David Martinez, Lionel Messi, Santiago Morales, Federico Redondo, David Ruiz, Luis Suarez, and Robert Taylor. A lot of these you didn't expect, right? I mean, like maybe at least for I don't know, you could players like Diego Gomez, players maybe like Robert Taylor, even like for a player like Leo Campana. I'm gonna make myself a little bit bigger here, but even for players like Leo Campana, maybe you just didn't expect. I didn't expect somebody like Diego Gomez to be here. Obviously, with him being in talks or almost pretty much guaranteed to move to Brighton around this time or in January. Don't know if like he's already under contract, but he's still gonna move because I guess if his contract expired, he would move on a free. So that's probably the only reason why I think his name is on this list. But I don't highly doubt that he'll be here. I don't think he's gonna be here for January 2025. Just to kind of clarify that. We have players like Robert Taylor, who I thought his position or his contract at the club was in jeopardy because of just towards the back end of the season of this last season. He unfortunately just didn't see the field. I did mention, I don't know if you guys were here, if you guys remember, there was a point in the live streams and in the post game reviews where I criticized Robert Taylor a little bit because there was this spell of him being pretty inconsistent with his performances on the field, and I said on stream that I said, okay, I think he needs a break. I think he needs to sit out for a couple of games until like he gets like a reset, and then he can maybe come back out again. The problem was that I think Tata Martino listened to what I had to say because that's exactly what happened. He literally just sat the bench and just kind of. But the problem is he just rode it. He rode the bench for the rest of the season, which I thought was not the best move because I think we really needed Robert Taylor in certain situations and in certain games, especially when other players either weren't performing at the time, um, or we just kind of needed that depth off the bench. But so ever since that he was riding the bench for the remainder of the season, I thought his position was in jeopardy, but apparently not. He's still under contract for 2025. I highly doubt that he will get traded. Maybe he will get sold, but as of right now, he is an Inter Miami player for the 2025 season. We have players like El Toto Aviles, who honestly is Toto Aviles is Toto Aviles. I mean, I see him as he was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, disappointment of last season. And I'm not saying that means we shouldn't give him another chance. I think 100% we should give him a chance. He's 19, 20 years old. He still has a lot of time to develop, recover, and just kind of bounce back from a really, really disappointing season. At least from my eyes, a very disappointing season. If you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, Toto Aviles is back 2025. Obviously, we have Busi, we have Drake Calendar. A lot of people want Drake Calendar out. I think that's pretty stupid. We shouldn't want to get rid of Drake Calendar. He's been with us forever. He's been pretty reliable. Um, Obviously, he's had those spells where it's like it's been a little bit questionable, but for the most part, he's been pretty solid. And yeah, he's been a pretty much a beast in net, in my opinion. Julian Gressel is another one. I don't know why my mouse keeps disconnecting. I just got this wireless mouse. I don't know if it's like the battery's dying or something, but I just literally just got this mouse and it's already like giving me problems. But Julian Gressel was somebody that I think a lot of people were against last season, and I'm glad that they were able to bring him back for 2025. I don't know if he's going to be kept. Don't know if he's going to be sold, traded in the near future. Not really too sure, but um, it'd be interesting to see Julian. I mean, like it'd be interesting to see how Mascherano will kind of implement Julian Gressel. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be playing the wing back, center mid, right wing. We don't know. Like, so we knew what he was going to bring last year, or this last year with Tata Martino and his experience playing together. EJ, what's up, bro? I appreciate you for being here. Please be patient because literally my mouse keeps disconnecting and I only have the one monitor set up. So if I'm not able to pull up the chat, um, if I'm not able to pull the chat up on screen, I apologize. I have it on my phone though, so I'm just kind of reading it through my phone. Um, so yeah, like I was saying, we knew what we were getting with Julian Gressel with his experience playing with or being managed by Tata Martino. He could either play right wing, right center mid, wing back. He mainly played in the midfield, obviously. But now with Macherano, don't know if he's going to try to implement that same thing, playing him in the midfield. Maybe um, with bringing back Chelo, I think maybe Julian Gressel could maybe be a backup wing back. If we play with that back three, he could be that right mid with Messi up top in the more advanced role. It's going to be very interesting. But I was a big fan of Julian Gressel. I'm glad that he's able to stay. Hopefully, he could be pretty impactful this year. Once again, as he was last year, I thought he was. I thought he was very important. I literally thought he was. I thought he did really good last year, and or in 2020. I keep saying last year, but we're still in 2024. A lot of people didn't like him. I personally liked him. I thought he fulfilled his role really well. Towards the back end of the season, I think for the last couple of games, he kind of ghosted. I don't know. And then I think for the playoffs, he just didn't play because Tata Martino just didn't know what he was doing. But anyways, um, David Martinez is going to be staying. Federico is going to be staying, of course. Luis Suarez, they already made a social media post about that of him staying for another season, and then yeah, those are people who I guess they already they renewed. They're here. They're going to be staying in 2025. People who had the option, who didn't have an initial 2025 like guaranteed kind of thing, um, contract or option in their contract, they had an option to extend. So they only signed maybe for a year and with an option to extend. These are these people. We have Leo Afonso, Jordi Alba, Yannick Bright, CJ Dos Santos, Ian Frey, Ryan Saylor, and Chelo Wengant. I think the biggest one being Chelo Wengant on this list. Um, Chelo Wengant was also, in my opinion, and probably I think to the opinions of many, a huge, huge disappointment from this last year. I thought he did not do as well as he should have done. Um, I thought that he played every single game when he shouldn't have, but that's only because he was essentially our only option besides Gressel. He was essentially our only option at right back, and keeping him. I mean, I guess we're going with I think keeping him. I think is a good decision because like you don't want to get rid of somebody like Gressel, or not Gressel. You don't want to get rid of somebody like Chelo, right? Because if you get rid of Chelo and you can't bring anybody else, we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. So I think it's in my opinion, the way I'm looking at it, this might not be how Macheran is looking at it. I'm not. I obviously don't speak on behalf of Macheran or in Miami, but Chelo is going to be it's a good thing if you want to look at it on a positive side. It's a good thing that Chelo's brought back because it's an option at right back. I mean, who knows? He could have a stellar season in 2025 and just absolutely pop off for us. But if he replicates the season he had in 2024, I'm gonna be very worried. But it's just to kind of fill in a role. If they do end up going to that back three with Gressel at the right wing, they could put Cello at the right wing as well. Things like that. It's just an option to have a backup. But we'll see what happens with that. EJ says in the chat, I saw Miami is closing in on a goalkeeper. Um, so this is interesting because we've been rumored to sign a goalkeeper, but the problem is that we already well, obviously we have CJ Dos Santos for the future. We also have Drake Calendar that's going to be staying. Oscar Ustari is in deep negotiation talks with Inter Miami. So if they decide to keep him, which honestly I don't agree that we should. I don't think we should keep him because I'm like 99% sure that he takes up um an international slot. And so if we keep him, then that means we're essentially wasting an international slot on a third choice goalkeeper because Ustadi not saying that Ustadi shouldn't be playing, but I think Ustadi shouldn't have priority of playing. Like if anybody should be playing, it's obviously Jay Calendar, but it also should be CJ Dos Santos. CJ Dos Santos, I think, needs to be getting more minutes now. Last year or this last season, he played I think 2 or 3 games. I thought he did really well in net for somebody of his age, of his experience, or of his lack of experience, I should say, playing in the MLS. Um, he got a lot of minutes for the youth for the second team last year, and I believe in the year before that. Um, in 2023. Like I think he was their he was their number one goalkeeper for the B team. So if they could not bring in Ustadi, if they could not bring Ustadi back, right, and maybe look for a different keeper, whether that's a young keeper or whether that's a more experienced keeper, whatever it is, as long as they don't take up an international roster slot, I think it would be pretty useful. Is there a specific keeper, EJ, that you heard or saw that we're kind of rooming with, I would like to know because I didn't hear any names. Just kind of the casual like free agents that would be kind of roaming around. I think Keylor Navas, I think, was one of them, and you know whoever I don't know whoever else would be a free agent now in the winter time. We have good morning, bro. Ace Leonel, welcome to the chat. I appreciate you for being here. This Tuesday morning. I swear, Cello with another loan. I mean, yeah, dude. Like Cello with the loans, man. It's well, okay. So I mean, think about it this way: we don't have Cello permanently. We just have him on loan again, and Boca definitely don't want him. I feel like Boca. There's no way that Boca wants him because they just know he's not good. But we have him. We have him as an option. If anything happens, if we have injuries, if we can't sign another right back, we at least have Chelo. If we can bring in a right wing back, a right back type of player, somebody who's attacking minded, both attacking and defensive minded, but somebody who can be, oh shit, who can be just as big of a threat going forward, um, as going back on defense, it would really, really help us because Jordi Alba was an offensive threat this last year. And if we can replicate that on the right side, I think that would be pretty good because then we can have just just like constant pressure on both widths. If we just kind of stay with the one attacking option on the left, then I feel like it's going to be a little bit too predictable because it is Jordi Alba. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's Jordi Alba um, pushing on that left flank, and he's obviously going to be like pressed pretty heavily. He's going to be like the people are going to want to challenge him. So maybe if we can have somebody on the right who could kind of be like a little sleeper, like a sleeper right back, and maybe like just like a silent threat. You know what I'm saying? It could really probably help us with the surprise attack. We have Losada from Lanús. I haven't heard of that, but that's pretty interesting. Um, honestly, at this point, anything that can bolster our roster would really really help us significantly. But Moving on. I mean, like that's with Wait, did I go over all of the? Okay, no. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about obviously we have Yannick Bright coming back. That's huge. We have Jordi Alba coming back. That's also big. Ryan Saylor, I thought he should have got more playing time in 2024. Ryan Saylor, especially with the extremely inconsistent performances by El Toto Aviles, and I thought like he just should have he should have saw the field more. I genuinely believe that if we had Ryan Saylor, I'm not saying he was the answer to all of our problems, right? That's not what I'm saying at all. But if Ryan Saylor could have just been an option for Tata Martino, like I felt like I don't know, maybe it could have done something. Like maybe it could have mentally like impacted El Toto Aviles to be like better in training and then like to work on his game and then like to earn for his spot as a starter because Toto was essentially a guaranteed starter every time and it was the same thing with Cholo. Like it gave them no competitiveness. So even if they played bad, they were still gonna play the next game, which I disagree with like 100,000,000%. Like you can't do that. So Ryan Saylor, I felt like should have been more of a rotational player, not just kind of like im- not even like an impact sub. Like he was just there. Like he was just kind of taking up a substitution spot, which I don't agree with at all. So hopefully we can see more from Ryan Saylor if we don't bring in another center. Well, we're gonna bring in another center back 100%. But if Ryan Saylor could see the field a little bit more, to just create more of a competitive game for Toto and for David Martinez and for whoever else we're gonna be bringing in, because we're definitely going to be bringing in maybe one or two more center backs. Obviously, we have Ian Frey re-signing, but he is going to be. I mean, like he's been training good. I thought he was going to be out for like the majority of next season, which he still might be. I'm not a doctor, and we don't get news on that. But Matias Rojas, I've seen him in training, or I've seen reports of him in training and working on his, just working on recovery and things like that. So honestly, we might be able to see him maybe not like in the first month of the MLS, but maybe by the second month of the regular season in 2025, I think we should be able to see him in action, which I think is very exciting. I think it's very exciting, but obviously, of course, we cannot rush him. Like, and honestly, if Ian Frey, and I don't want to sound like negative or just bad. Like I don't want to sound yeah, just negative. I don't want to sound negative, but if Ian Frey tears something again, God forbid, knock on wood, if Ian Frey tears something again, then I think it's kind of the end of the road for him because this is gonna be what the third, fourth time this is happening, and not just for the sake of the club, but just for the sake of him and his safety and his health. Like it's a lot. It's gonna be a lot. It's just a lot for him. Like you can't go through that many surgeries, that many injury like recoveries. Like for an athlete, I know it's very difficult. I understand it, but I think like at some point, like you just have to think about your future. Like yeah, you want to be a professional footballer or a professional soccer player, but if you can't even walk at some point, like what if you get injured so many times like you'll just like never walk again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like your leg is gonna be so shot like you just can't run, you can't kick a ball anymore. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Like maybe I'm just thinking too extremely, but that obviously that's not what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping obviously for the absolute best for Ian Frey, and I really hope he comes back, and I really hope he makes a really good career out of himself, whether that's here at Inter Miami or elsewhere in maybe in Europe or I don't know. But yeah, I'm hoping all the best for Ian Frey, and I'm hoping he gets some game time in 2025, not rushed, and hopefully injury free. Other than that, Leo Alfonso, we saw him a couple of times, make a couple of appearances off the bench in 2024. I'm excited for his future. Him along with Yannick Bright, I thought were two really good draft picks, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see what he can do off the bench this year, and hopefully learn a lot from Luis Suarez again, and even from Leo Alfonso, who's not that much older than him, but I mean, who has a lot of experience. Contract options declined. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. So or let me see. Islana says, bro, no matter how positive uh many might take it, I still don't like it. I'm assuming you're talking about Chedo. It is what it is, right? But contract options declined. So this is the club declining the option to extend these players' contracts. And so let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. But first up, we have Cole Jensen. This is the third string goalkeeper. He was, ever since Dos Santos was promoted to the first team, Jensen was getting a lot of game time for the B team. And then ever since Jensen was moved up to the first team from the B team, um, he hasn't gotten any minutes, unfortunately for him. I thought he would have been a pretty good goalkeeper, I guess, for us in the future, but you don't really want two young players, similar in age, similar in experience, on the first team, if that makes sense. Like you would want one experienced, one inexperienced, so then the inexperienced could eventually learn. He becomes experienced, and then you want a younger player after that. So, um, the club ended up going with Dos Santos, which makes a lot of sense. And Cole Jensen, unfortunately, has been declined in terms of his contract. Yeah, this mouse is really kind of annoying, but anyway, we have Sergei Kristov, who we expected not to be here next year. They ended up declining his contract extension. Franco Negri, another option that was declined. This is not. I guess this might be surprising for some. This wasn't surprising for me. I thought that this was somebody that we were gonna get rid of. Um, I mean, we could have probably used him as a backup, but he's like what, 33, 34 years old, and as like a 34-year-old as a backup, you kind of don't want that, especially because like he doesn't really offer much as a backup because like he's not quick. I mean, like he's experienced, but I don't know. I think it's better off that we just didn't have Negri. Negri is a good player, but when you have Jordi Alba and you have maybe like Noah Allen who could eventually take that role. And if we bring somebody in who's younger, who's a little bit like who's better, who's faster, this is probably the right thing to do. We're gonna come back to Matias Rojas, but we have Lawson Sunderland, academy player. He's declined, unfortunately, but I mean, he didn't get almost any game time, I think, this last year, and I think he's played one game off the bench, or maybe two games off the bench, and he didn't really impress. And I think he's been getting a lot of game time with the B team, from what I've watched. And I guess it's just not something that the club thought it was, the right move, which is unfortunate to say because he's been here for quite a while. But I mean, hey, I guess that's just kind of the life of being a young professional footballer, right? Uh, Hopefully he can find a new home. Hopefully he can find somewhere. I think his brother plays for like Cincinnati or something. So I don't know. Hopefully he can find another club that would really want him and they could really use him, and hopefully he can really shine at the professional level. And yeah, I really hope for the best for Sunderland. And then we have Felipe Valencia, who I don't even think he has touched the field this year, both on the first, obviously for the first team, but I don't even think he's touched the field for the second team. I think he's been like kind of an academy player, like an actual academy player, and I think he's been here for, I think, for as long as I've been like actually attending the youth games, which has been, I think he's been here since like 2022 or something. Like he's been here for quite a while, maybe even before that. I have no idea, but he's been here for quite a while and he hasn't really gotten any sort of opportunity. So I think it's kind of best that he is let go as well. Hopefully, like I said for Sunderland, hopefully he finds a new home. Hopefully he does find success somewhere or elsewhere. But Matias Rojas, you can see that he has a star under his name, or next to his name, I should say. He is, as you can read down here, it says the club is on ongoing negotiations with Matias Rojas. His option was declined. Additionally, the club recently announced new contracts for Luis Suarez. And then we have Ustari there. So Matias Rojas, his option to extend his contract to 2025 has been declined. Now this can mean two things. The one option one is guaranteed, which is the club is negotiating contracts with Matias Rojas to get a new contract. They're negotiating a new contract. So that would probably mean to, I think, lower. So like I think use probably some of the GAM money that we have, GAM, TAM, whatever. Use some of that money to kind of lower his contract, to downgrade the contract so they can keep him. Don't know. I'm assuming that they don't want to keep Matias Rojas. Like I'm sure that he's probably getting overpaid. Like I don't remember how much he's getting paid, to be honest, off the top of my head. But whatever it is, they don't want it. And so if they can reduce it, they'll probably keep him. Now, if they can't agree on a contract, we're just not going to have Matias Rojas, which is kind of like, I guess, depending on how you look at it, it could be a good or bad thing. Bad thing because, well, that's just one less player that we'll have in terms of just kind of depth. And he's been pretty all right for us. I mean, like he wasn't like outstanding, right? Like I'm not gonna like glaze it, but he was. I thought he was pretty good, especially off the bench. I thought he was pretty good. Sometimes when he made like a starting appearance, he would do okay. Um, but I mean, yeah, I like. And look, at the end of the day, right? Like if what's it called? I'm trying to like switch over, but my mouse keeps disconnecting for some reason. So at the end of the day, these players have declined the club has declined the option to extend for these players, right? At the end of the day, if as long as we are able to bring in players to replace them who are better or somewhat better or maybe the same caliber, I think it's going to be all right. With players like Cole Jensen, we're gonna need a third. Like if Cole Jensen is out and Ustadi doesn't renew, we're gonna need a third. We're gonna need a third choice goalkeeper, right? If Kristoff didn't renew, and so we're gonna need another center back. Negri didn't renew, or we didn't want Negri. We're gonna need to bring in another wing back. Things like that. So hopefully, we can bring replacements for these guys. Hold on, I'm trying to like move my chair. There we go. Hopefully we can bring in replacements for these guys because obviously we need them. We need that depth. But yeah, I think these are pretty good like projections in terms of contract extensions. These are good. The only ones that we didn't go over is Oscar Ustadi. He's out of a contract. He only signed like a 6 month or whatever, like a short term contract when he came. That was just kind of an emergency signing just in case Drake Callender got injured. But we're not dealing with that situation anymore. So honestly, there's really no need to have Oscar Ustadi at the team, like at the club. I think we could use that to sign just maybe somebody who can compete with Drake Callender, and then we'll have either somebody to compete with Drake Callender for that first team's or that starting position, and then just kind of have to move Dos Santos to as like a third choice goalkeeper or something like that. Or like I don't think you would get a young player because you already have Dos Santos. I don't know. You can do a couple of things with that, but I mean, hey, that's kind of it is what it is. That's those are the contract decisions that have been discussed so far. I think we're still waiting on obviously more decisions to be made with these players. But hey, um, I think this is pretty good. I think those were pretty good decisions and things like that. So, um, in terms of bringing players in, we are I say extremely rumored. We are, according to like fan accounts and things like that, a lot of people are talking about the possibility of James Rodriguez coming to Inter Miami. Same thing with Kevin De Bruyne. Apparently Kevin De Bruyne's value, like according to Transfer Market, has like significantly declined. So if we're able, I'm pretty sure we have that DP slot. I don't know if they're gonna give Leo Campana that DP slot. We're just gonna have to see because the MLS are not really good in releasing that type of information unless we seek it. But if we have that extra DP slot, then we can sign somebody like James or De Bruyne. Probably more De Bruyne than James, because I think James already had like a lower contract. Like he already had like a low paying contract with Rayo Vallecano. So honestly, if we can bring in both, that'd be insane. Probably not going to happen. But if we can bring one of them, I think De Bruyne was heavily linked to San Diego also, like that new expansion team that's coming out in 2025. So he might be moving over there. But if we can get James, I think James is probably more than likely to be joining Inter Miami. If we can get James Rodriguez in, I think that'd be pretty sick for us. But that's just my opinion. You guys let me know who you think Inter Miami should be bringing in the comments down below, whether that's free agents, whether that's just players in Europe that should be coming over. This is here. Let me show you guys this. This is a post I saw earlier today of just like his of Kevin De Bruyne's value tanking. I mean, you see the Inter Miami shirt, um, but it apparently he's down to like 40 mil, like a $45 billion value, which is insane for Kevin De Bruyne. Like literally, this guy being the best, if not one of the best center midfielders, attacking midfielders in the world for a period of time. Um, you could still argue that he is, and it'd be insane if he came over to Miami. Probably we'll discuss. Oh, I probably should have done this in the spring cleaning, but we'll have two more things to talk about. But if you guys don't have anything to comment in the live chat right now about the transfers, then we're gonna move on to these last two topics, and then we'll wrap up the stream from here. It's really difficult doing this with one monitor, and the fact that my mouse keeps dying, it's extremely difficult. But anyway, let's try to make it work. So let me show you guys this. So Chase Stadium posted this yesterday, I believe. Bam. Jersey launch December 12th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The team store will be releasing Inter Miami's new jersey. There's already been leaks to this, according to like Inter Miami CF News, that fan account here. This one. This is the leak that has been kind of displayed. This, I don't know where he's getting this from. Like it looks like he's at some store, I don't know, or like some warehouse. I don't know where he's getting this information from. But if somebody who works at Fanatics leaked this, they're 100% getting fired. There's no way. But as somebody who works for or who used to work for Fanatics, and that they get these pretty early. Like they got these jerseys pretty early. If this is it, like if this is the jersey that Fanatics got, this is like um first of all, let me discuss like the actual friggin' jersey itself. This is an ugly jersey. Like I genuinely speaking, like this looks bad. Like it just looks, it's so plain. I think it's like extremely plain. Like when you compare it to the archive one, or like even to like La Noche, or even like the palm tree one, this is a really bad kit. It's so basic. It's extremely plain. It's just black. It's just like a light black, like a grayish black with a line down the middle and then the Inter Miami logo with the Royal Caribbean logo. It's extremely, extremely poorly designed, if this is true, which I think it is. I honestly think it is because this jersey doesn't exist. Like this is like a real photo. This isn't like a photoshopped thing. Like this is a real photo that somebody took at either a warehouse or a store. Whether whether the guy of the Inter Miami CF account guy did this, or it says here footyheadlines.com, so maybe some guy, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, this is a disgusting jersey, and I can tell you right now, I will not be buying a jersey if it looks like that for next year. I plan on getting the I plan on getting the archive kit to wear next year, with Messi's name on it. I want to get it for Christmas, but I've been spending so much money on just kind of designing my room, and you guys hopefully will be able to see that. I have like frames down there also that I have to put up when I come back on my business trip. But yeah, I think this is if this is genuinely the jersey that Inter Miami are going to be revealing on the 12th, this is such a disappointment. I'm not going to be physically here in Florida on the 12th. I'm going to be in North Carolina on the 12th. So I won't be able to go. I'll probably go. I could probably go live. It'll just be on my phone, and I think the internet at the hotel is not going to be the greatest. But I can still update you guys like through the community tab here on YouTube. But like giving my thoughts about it, it's really like this is really disappointing. So hopefully this isn't it. Hopefully it's something just a little bit better, a little bit more detailed, especially with all that money that they got from Messi. Like, come on, like you got to be giving us something better than that. But anyways, that's that. And then we can talk about if my mouse stops dying, I would love to be able to switch over. And then the last thing we could probably wrap this thing up with would be the last two conversations is Club World Cup, and of course we have Messi winning MVP for MLS this season, which is awesome, dude. This is what the academy players did on the field when Messi went to go receive that award, which I thought was an amazing thing to do. Um, Honestly, dude, my like you guys see it, right? You guys see my mouse moving, right? It's really annoying. But him winning this MVP extremely deserved, right, guys? Like this should have never been in doubt by anybody. This should have never been a question. This should have never been in like an argument. Messi being the MVP is extremely well deserved. Now, I obviously feel bad for the rest of MLS because who is going to be able to compete with Messi? Absolutely nobody. Um, but he just had an outstanding year this year with in terms of just stats, dude. Like he played 19 games. He played 19 games. He started 15 of them. He scored 20 goals and got 16 assists. Like it's in like what? That's what? That's 36 goal contributions in 19 games. It's genuinely like it's unheard of. Like you don't do that. Even with Suarez with 20 goals and 9 assists. Like in 27 games. That's really good, guys. It's really good. Um and normally like Suarez would probably win MVP if it was any other league. Like what Messi did this year is just not it's just unheard of at the MLS level. Like you know what I'm saying? So it's well deserved. Congratulations to Messi. It's like who like there shouldn't have been any other contender for the MVP. But I'm glad that he won it. It's very well deserved. They took a bunch of photos that I would show to you guys, but my mouse keeps bugging, so I'm trying to click whatever it kind of lets me to. But let's move on to the last point, the last topic, right? Last topic of discussion for today, and to wrap up this Inter Miami news recap. Appreciate you guys for being here for this long. I know we've been going for about like 45 minutes now, but wrapping it up. Club World Cup. I know this is old news. I know this has been discussed already in the past, but I've obviously been away. working a lot, so I wasn't able to kind of just go live spontaneously. Um, Inter Miami, this is the schedule, and this is the group that Inter Miami is in for the Club World Cup in 2025. We have two games that are going to be played at the Hard Rock. We have one that's going to be played in Georgia at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta United Stadium. The first game, I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what this team is, but hopefully this is an easy 3 points. Regardless, the team name is Al Ali SC. We're going to be playing on a Saturday, the 14th of June at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be at the Hard Rock. Don't know how that's going to do in terms of ticket sales. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to want to go regardless because Messi plays and things like that. Um, they're just going to want to see that type of player and they're going to want to see Inter Miami win. And I think that's kind of the main selling point is seeing Messi play, seeing Inter Miami win, things like that. These other two games are going to be huge. Absolutely huge. And they're most likely going to sell out. And that's against Porto at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium on the 19th, which would be the following Thursday after the first game at 3 p.m. game. It's kind of a weird time. Thursday, 3 p.m. It's a weird time, but I guess it's summertime. Kids are out of school. Maybe families would take off work, whatever. That's going to be insane. Playing against Porto, one of a huge European, of course, one of if not the biggest Portuguese club, in the Liga NOS or in the Portuguese league. And then we have Palmeiras. Palmeiras at the Hard Rock Monday night at 9 p.m. Monday night is a weird time also, but hey, it's a Monday night. It's June. It's summertime. It is what it is. It's gonna get sold out. Palmeiras is gonna be probably the biggest game. Even though Porto is probably arguably a bigger team than Palmeiras in terms of reputation, in terms of whatever, there are so many more Brazilian people here, especially here in Miami, just here in Miami alone, and let alone people who are going to be traveling to watch this game. There's so many more Brazilian people here in Miami that this game is going to be a complete sellout. Now, whether we're going to win these games or not, zero clue, but this is right in the middle of our season, which is gonna suck. Obviously we experienced this last year with Leagues Cup and with the Copa America and even with the Olympics. It really sucked. So we had a lot of teams like just be really fatigued. So hopefully, hopefully we can be competitive, we can stay competitive, we can stay fit, most importantly injury free. I think we're gonna need to bring in a lot, and I mean I don't know where we are in terms of squad registrations and how many slots we actually have left, but if we are running out of slots, like if we don't have a lot of slots left, I think genuinely speaking I think we're screwed because that's not even just like an Inter Miami situation. That's just an MLS situation because you can't want to compete in these types of tournaments and then just not have the room to register players for these tournaments. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you can't compete in the Club World Cup. You can't compete in Leagues Cup. You can't compete in the CONCACAF Champions Cup and then just have like an extremely limited team, like for like first team, like all the whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But that's a topic for another day. But those are the topics that we wanted to go over. These are really huge games. Hopefully I'll be able to go to one of those Club World Cup games, guys. I think it would be really cool. It might be a little bit too expensive. If it's too expensive, I probably won't go, and I'll save my money for the World Cup in 2026 because that's gonna be a lot of fun to go to. But thank you guys so much for participating and tuning into this live stream here on the Soulful Soccer channel. For those of you who are seeing this after I go live, thank you so much for watching and commenting down below, liking and subscribing and sharing. All the support is really appreciative. Just want to remind you guys again, I will be going on a business trip to North Carolina tomorrow until about Sunday. So I'm going to be just kind of not MIA, but I just won't be live streaming between now and Sunday. And then hopefully when I come back, or hopefully nothing really too big happens to the point where I have to live stream and I won't be able to. So hopefully everything just kind of stabilize and stay normal until I get back, and then we'll have probably one or two live streams um, before the holidays. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm gonna go get ready for work now and eat some lunch. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, thank you guys again, and have a great rest of your day.